Welcome to the Baseball Card Illustrated channel, where we talk about our national pastime, and it is illustrated with baseball cards. This is a special episode because tonight ESPN aired Long Gone Summer about the 1998 home run chase between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. You probably already know that Sosa finished with 66 long balls, Ken Griffey Jr. swatted 56 homers, Greg Vaughn, yes, Greg Vaughn, then of the San Diego Padres, would go deep 50 times, and McGwire was credited with a record 70 that season. Of course, Barry Bonds would surpass all those totals in 2001 when he crushed 73 dingers. However, what you may not know, or might not remember, is that McGwire may have actually hit 71 homers during the 1998 campaign. That will be the focus of this episode. I'm Bronko, the PSA 11. The Diamond King Kevin is on assignment today, and this is Mark McGwire, the short-term single-season home run king. Settle in and enjoy as I take you back to September 20th. Picture it, Milwaukee, 1998. The Cardinals hold a 6-1 lead, and McGwire has already hit one homer on the day. Big Mac steps up to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on base in the top of the 5th, and confusion ensues. Brewers pitcher Rod Henderson rocks and fires, and McGwire lifts a drive 392 feet to the left center field fence. Milwaukee center fielder Marquise Grissom ranges over toward the wall in the gap, and second base umpire Bob Davidson races out to get a look at a scene where controversy is about to unfold. As the ball approaches the fence, fans hoping to catch a piece of Major League history and a souvenir that could be quite valuable make a play on what might be home run number 66 on the season for McGwire. Fans reach for the ball, and that is where confusion sets in. At Milwaukee County Stadium, the ball needed to clear a yellow barrier at the top of the fence for it to be a home run. To prevent interference, there was a small barrier a couple feet behind the outfield wall to keep fans in the bleachers from getting involved in the action. What ends up happening on this play is fans reach out and make contact with the ball above the yellow barrier, but nobody on the field is quite sure where the ball was when it was touched, and therefore whether it would have cleared this yellow line. Here are the factors at play as Davidson decides what to call. While McGwire is in a home run race, the pennant chase is over for both the Brewers and the Cardinals. While such a decision should not be based on what the fans want, the home fans did want the visitors to be credited with a homer, and giving McGwire the benefit of the doubt will not impact the postseason picture. Grissom, the Brewers outfielder closest to the play, gives no visible indication that he felt a fan reached over the railing and contacted the ball. And Major League Baseball did not have replay at the time, so whatever Davidson decides will stand. As you may have guessed, McGwire is awarded a ground rule double on the play. The media jokingly referred to the situation at the time as home run number 65.5. Ahead of the 30 for 30 episode, I was able to get in touch with the fan that was actually the first person to make contact with the ball, and his story is fascinating. First and foremost, he was adamant that it was a home run. For what it's worth, the fan, who I will not name here, admitted he was more of a Cubs fan than a Cardinals fan, so it stands to reason that he had no rooting interest in McGwire being awarded a home run, considering Sosa was in hot pursuit of the home run lead. Here's what he said happened on that fateful day more than 21 years ago. Quote, "Having played center field through high school, I knew right away it was coming to me. Sitting in the front row, I had my glove. I immediately got up and I went straight to the rail." End quote. Later in our conversation, he added, quote, "I caught the ball clear as a bell. Some of the photos that ran in the paper, you can see the ball with the actual stitching of the ball in my glove. As soon as I caught the ball, I'm like, all right, I got this. Then the fan to my right put his t-shirt on top of the glove, and he tried to dislodge the ball and rip it out of my glove." End quote. By this point, several people are in on the action, and the fan who caught the ball touches the yellow railing, essentially to steady himself from getting pushed over the small fence designed to protect fans. This happened quickly, and is probably what led Davidson to rule it fan interference, awarding McGwire a double rather than a homer. While that was sorted out rather quickly on the field, with McGwire standing on second base, the scene in the left center field bleachers would not wrap up as fast, and would ultimately involve another judgment on the People's Court. Back in the bleachers, the ball is yanked out of the fan's glove, and his mitt is almost ripped off his hand as people battle for the ball. The ball ends up dropping into an area between the two fences where a different fan reacts quickly and picks it up. As the commotion for the ball dies down, the fan who originally made contact with the ball is escorted out of the stands and will end up being ticketed due to the play being ruled interference. So now the poor guy doesn't have the ball, has to leave the stadium, and is on the hook for a $518 fine. Adding insult to injury, as the officer hands him a citation, the cop asks him to hold up his ticket and pose for a photo with him. The story at the stadium is done, but that is not where the tale ends. The fan told me he heard from people from as far away as Korea in the aftermath, as the play would make national and international news. A baseball fan from Texas called and offered him $1 million for the ball, which he had to refuse because he didn't have it. A Cardinals fan even tracked him down and had him sign 100 copies of a newspaper with a picture of him being the first to touch the ball. As for the ball itself, it was now in the possession of a high school student from the state of New York. This would lead to both parties appearing on the TV show The People's Court in front of former New York City Mayor Ed Koch. Despite visual evidence and eyewitness accounts, the judge effectively ruled that possession was 9/10 of the law in this case, meaning that despite presenting proof he caught the ball, the New Yorker had possession and was entitled to keep it. While that case did not go his way, the fan who was thrown out of the stadium was able to get one legal victory, as his citation for trespassing for interfering with a ball in play was ultimately dropped. In the end, it turns out he did not get the ball back, and McGwire did not get the homer. The fan added that he hopes one day to get the ball back somehow and do with it what he intended to do in the first place, which is offer it back to Big Mac. While there were many twists and turns along the way, the fan said he is at peace with the situation and looks back on it as a fond memory. Thank you for joining me on this special edition of Baseball Card Illustrated. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a comment down below, and give us a thumbs up. On behalf of Kevin, along with Ed Koch, Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa, I'm Bronko. So long, everybody. You've been watching Baseball Card Illustrated.